Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining me as I read more from SAVITRI by Sri Aurobindo. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Sending lots of healing love and light to everyone. We're all one. Todos somos uno. Muy bien. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you already haven't. We continue on in Canto 6 of Book 2. The title of Canto 6 is The Kingdoms and the Godheads of the Greater Life. As one who between dim receding walls, towards the far gleam of a tunnel's mouth, hoping for light, walks now with freer pace, and feels approach a breath of wider air. So he escaped from that gray anarchy. Into an intellectual world he came, a purposeless region of arrested birth, where being from non-being fled and dared to live, but had no strength long to abide. Above the gleamless and pondering brow of sky, tormented, crossed by wings of doubtful haze, adventuring with a voice of roaming winds and crying for a direction in the void, like blind souls looking for the selves they lost, and wandering through unfamiliar worlds, wings of vague questioning met the query of space. After denial dawned a dubious hope, a hope of self and form and leave to live, and the birth of that which never yet could be, and the joy of mind's hazard and heart's choice, grace of the unknown and hands of sudden surprise, and the touch of sure delight. Excuse me. And the touch of sure delight in unsure things, to a strange, uncertain tract his journey came, where consciousness played with unconscious self, and birth was an attempt or episode, a charm drew near that could not keep its spell, an eagle power that could not find its way, a chance that chose a strange arithmetic, but could not bind with it the forms it made, a multitude that could not guard its sum, which less than zero grew, and more than one. Arriving at a large shadowy sense that cared not to define its fleeting drift, life labored in a strange and mythic air, denuded of her sweet magnificent suns, in worlds imagined yet. Be sure to bless your water, always. Watch it work. Healing love and light. All one. Arriving in a large and shadowy sense that cared not to define its fleeting drift, life labored in a strange and mythic air, denuded of her sweet magnificent suns in the worlds imagined, never yet made true, a lingering glimmer on creation's verge, one strayed and dreamed and never stopped to achieve. To achieve would have destroyed that magic space, the marvels of a twilight wonderland full of a beauty strangely, vainly made, a surge of fanciful realities, dim tokens of a splendor sealed above, awoke the passion of the eye's desire, compel belief on an enamored thought, and drew the heart but led it to no goal. A magic flowed as if of moving scenes that kept awhile their fugitive delicacy of sparring lines limed by an abstract art and a rare scant light with faint dream brush on a silver background of incertitude. An infant glow of heavens near the morn, a fire intense conceived but never lit, caressed the air with ardent hints of day, the perfect longing for imperfection's charm, the illumined caught by the snare of ignorance, ethereal creatures drawn by body's lure, excuse me, to that region of promise, beating invisible wings, came hungry for the joy of finite life, but to divine the tread created soil and share the fate of perishable things, the children of the unembodied gleam, arisen from a formless thought in the soul, and chased by an imperishable desire, traversed the field of the pursuing gaze, a will that unpersisting failed worked there. Life was a search, but finding never came. There nothing satisfied, but all endured. Things seemed to be that never wholly are. Images were seen that looked like living acts, and symbols hid the sense they claimed to show. Pale dreams grew real to the dreamer's eyes. The soul came there that vainly strive for birth. The souls came there that vainly strive for birth. And spirits entrapped might wander through all time, yet never find the truth by which they live. Excuse me. All ran like hopes, the hunt, a lurking chance. Nothing was solid, nothing felt complete. All was unsafe, miraculous and half true. All seemed a realm of lives that had no base. They dawned a greater seeking broadened sky, a journey under wings of brooding force. First came the kingdom of the morning star, a twilight beauty trembled under its spear, and the throb of promise of a wider life. Then slowly rose a great and doubting sun, and in its light she made of herself a world. A spirit was there that sought for its own deep self, yet was content with fragments pushed in front, and parts of living that belied the whole, but pieced together might one day be true. Yet something seemed to be achieved at last, a growing volume of the will to be, a text of living in a graph of the force, a script of acts, a song of conscious forms. Burdened with meanings, fugitive from thought's grasp, and crowded with undertones of life's rhythmic cry, could write itself on the hearts of living things in an outbreak of the might of secret spirit. In life and matters, answers of delight, some face of deathless beauty could be caught that gave immortality to a moment's joy, some word that could incarnate highest truth. Leaped out from a chance tension of the soul, some hue of the absolute could fall on life, some glory of knowledge and intuitive sight, some passion of the rapturous heart of love, a hierophant of the bodiless secrecy, intertwined in an unseen spiritual sheath, that the will that pushes sense beyond its scope to feel the light and joy intangible, half found its way into the ineffable's peace, half captured a sealed sweetness of desire that yearned from a bosom of mysterious bliss, half manifested veiled reality, a soul not wrapped into its cloak of mind could glimpse the true sense of a world of forms, illumined by a vision in the thought, upbuoyed by the heart's understanding flame. It could hold in the conscious ether of the spirit the divinity of a symbol universe. This realm inspires us with our vaster hopes. Its forces have made landings on our globe. Its signs have trenched their pattern in our lives. It lends a sovereign movement to our fate. Its errant waves motive our life's high surge. All that we seek for is prefigured there. All that we have not all that we have not known nor ever sought, which yet one day must be born in human hearts, that the timeless may fulfill itself in things, incarnate in the mystery of the days, eternal in an unclosed infinite, a mounting endless possibility, climbs high upon a topless ladder of dream, forever in the being's conscious trance. All of that ladder mounts to an unseen end, an energy of perpetual transience makes. The journey from which no return is sure, the pilgrim of nature to the unknown. Excuse me. As if her ascent to her lost source, she hoped to unroll all that could ever be. Her high procession moves from stage to stage, a progress leap from sight to greater sight, a process march from form to ampler form, a caravan of the inexhaustible, formations of a boundless thought and force, her timeless power that lay once on a lap of a beingless and endless calm, now served from the spirit's immortal bliss, erects the types of all joys she had lost, compelling transient substance into shape. She hopes by the creative's act's release to early sometimes the gulf she cannot fill, to heal a while the wound of severance, escapes from the moment's prison of littleness, and meets the eternal's wide sublimities. In the uncertain time field portioned here, almost she nears what never can be attained. She shuts eternity into an hour, and fills a little soul with the infinite. The immobile leans to the magic of her call. She stands on a shore in the illimitable, perceives the formless dweller in all forms, and feels around her infinity's embrace. Her task no ending knows, she serves no aim, but labors driven by a nameless will that came from some unknowable formless vast. This is her secret and impossible task, to catch the boundless in a net of birth. To cast the spirit into physical form. So it is. To lend speech and thought to the ineffable, she is pushed to reveal the ever unmanifest. Can I get an amen? What's up, Infinite Waters? Deep diving? This is a deep dive over here. Holla at your boy. To lend speech and thought to the ineffable, she is pushed to reveal the ever unmanifest, yet by her skill the impossible has been done. She follows her sublime irrational plan, events, devices of her magic art, to find new bodies for the infinite and images of the unimaginable. She has lured the eternal into the arms of time. Even now herself she knows not what she has done, for all is wrought beneath a baffling mask. A semblance other than its hidden truth the aspect wears of an illusion's trick, a feigned time-driven unreality, the unfinished creation of a changing soul and a body changing with the inhabitant. Insignificant her means, infinite her work, on a great field of shapeless consciousness, in little finite strokes of mind and sense, an endless truth she endlessly unfolds. Beautiful. A timeless mystery works out in time. The greatness she has dreamed her acts have missed. Her labor is a passion and a pain, a rapture and paying her glory and her curse, yet she cannot choose but labors on. Her mighty heart forbids her to desist. As long as the world lasts, her failure lives, astonishing and foiling reason's gaze. A folly and a beauty unspeakable, a superb madness to the will to live, a daring, a delirium of delight. This is her being's law, its sole resource. She states, though satisfaction never comes, she sates. Though satisfaction never comes, her hungry will to lavish everywhere her many-imaged fictions of the self, and thousand fashions of one reality, a world she made touched by truth's fleeting hymn, a world cast into a dream of what it seeks, an icon of truth, a conscious mystery's shape. It lingered not like the earth mind hemmed in it, hemmed in. It lingered not like the earth mind, hemmed in solid barriers of apparent fact. It dared to trust the dream mind and the soul. Quick water break. Be right back. Okay. Line 200. A hunter of spiritual verities, still only thought or guessed or held by faith, it seized in imagination and confined, a painted bird of paradise in a cage. The greater life, is enamored of the unseen. It calls to some highest light beyond its reach. It can feel the silence that absolves the soul. It feels a Savior's touch, a ray divine. Beauty and good and truth its Godheads are. It is near the heavenlier heavens than earth's eyes see, a dire darkness than man's life can bear. It has kinship with the demon and the god. A strange enthusiasm has moved its heart. It hungers for heights, its passions for the supreme. It hunts for the perfect word, the perfect shape. It leaps to the summit thought, the summit light. For by the form, the formless is brought close, and all perfection fringes the absolute. A child of heaven who never saw his home, its impetus meets the eternal at a point. It can only near and touch. It cannot hold. It can only strain towards some bright extreme. Its greatness is to seek and to create. On every plane this greatness must create. On earth and heaven and hell she is the same. On every fate she takes her mighty part. A guardian of the fire that lights the sun, she triumphs in her glory and her might. Opposed, she bears God's urge to be born. The spirit survives upon non-being's ground. The world force outlasts world illusions shock. Dumb she is still the word, inert the power. Here fallen a slave of death and ignorance. To things deathless she is driven to aspire, and move to know even the unknowable. Even nescient null, her sleep creates a world. When most unseen, most mightily she works. Housed in the atom, buried in the clod, her quick creative passion cannot cease. Inconscience is her long, gigantic pause. Her cosmic swoon is a stupendous phase. Time born, she hides her immortality. In death, her bed, she awaits the hour to rise. Even with the light denied that sent her forth, and the hope dead she needed for her task, even when her brightest stars are quenched in night, nourished by hardship and calamity, and with pain for her body's handmaid, masseuse, nurse, her tortured invisible spirit continues still to toil through in darkness to create through with pangs. She carries crucified God upon her breast. In chill and sentient depths where joy is none, immured, oppressed by the resisting void, where nothing moves and nothing can become, she still remembers, still invokes the skill. The wonder worker gave her at birth, imparts to drowsy formlessness a shape, reveals a world where nothing was before, in realms confined to a prone circle of death, to a dark eternity of ignorance, a quiver in an inert, inconscient mass, or imprisoned by immobilized worlds of force, by matter's blind compulsion, death and mute, she refuses motionless to the dusk to sleep. Then, for her rebel waking punishment, giving only hard mechanic circumstances enginery for her magic craft, she fastens godlike marvels out of mud. In the plasm she sets her dumb immortal urge, helps the live tissue to think, the closed sense to feel, flashes through the frail nerves poignant messages, in a heart of flesh miraculously loves. To brute bodies gives a soul, a will, a voice, ever she summons as by a sorcerer's wand, beings and shapes and scenes innumerable. torchbearers of her pomps through time and space. This world is her long journey through the night. The suns and planets lamps to light her road. Our reason is the confidant of her thoughts. Our sense are her vibrant witnesses. These drawing her signs from things half true, half false. She labors to replace by realized dreams a memory of her lost eternity. These are her deeds in this huge world of ignorance. Till the veil is lifted, till the night is dead. In light or dark, she keeps her tireless search. Time is her road of endless privilege or pilgrimage. One mighty passion motives all her works. Her eternal lover is her action's cause. For him she leaps forth from the unseen vast to move here in a stark unconscious world. It acts as her commerce with the hidden guest. His mood she takes for her heart's passionate moles. Excuse me. In beauty she treasures the sunlight of his smile, ashamed of her rich cosmic poverty. She cajoles with her small gifts in his mightiness, holds with her scenes his looks' fidelity, and woos his large-eyed wandering thoughts to dwell. In figures of her million impulse force, only to attract her veiled companion and keep him close to her breast in her world cloak. Lest from her arms he turn to his formless peace, is her heart's business and her clinging care. Yet when he is most near, she feels him far. For contradiction is her nature's law, although she is ever in him and he in her, as if unaware of the eternal tie. Her will is to shut God into her works and keep him as her cherished prisoner, that they may part again in time, a sumptuous chamber of the spirit's sleep. At first she made a deep interior room where he slumbers as if a forgotten guest, but now she turns to break the oblivious spell, awakes the sleeper on this sepulchred couch. She finds again the presence and the form, and in the light that wakes with him recovers a meaning in the hurry and the trudge of time. And through his mind that once obscured the soul passes a glint of unseen deity across a luminous dream of spirit space. She builds creation like a rainbow bridge. Between the original silence and the void, a net is made of the mobile universe. She weaves a snare for the conscious infinite. A knowledge is with her that conceals its steps, and seems a mute, omnipotent ignorance. A might is with her that makes wonders true. The incredible is her stuff of common fact, her purpose, her workings riddles prove. Examined they grow other than they were. Explained they seem yet more inexplicable. Even in our world a mystery has reigned. Earth's cunning screen of trivial plainness hides her large selves of sorceries made. There the enigma shows its splendid prism. There is no deep disguise of commonness, occult, profound, comes all experience. Marvel is ever new, miracle divine. There is a screened burden, a mysterious touch. There is a secrecy of hidden sense. Although no earthen mask weighs on her face, into herself she flees from her own sight. All forms are tokens of some veiled idea, whose covert purpose lurks from mind's pursuits, yet is a womb of sovereign consequence. There every thought and feeling is an act, and every act a symbol and a sign, and every symbol hides a living power. A universe she builds from truths and myths, but what she needed she most she cannot build. All shown as a figure or copy of the truth, but the real veils from her its mystic face. All else she finds there lacks eternity. All is sought out, but missed the infinite. Hope y'all are enjoying this as much as I am so far. Please hit the like button, subscribe. We'll take a quick little break, get a water, have a smoke. We'll come back on line 376. I'll see y'all in a minute. Victory to the divine light. Okay. Line 366. Sorry about that. Big old bonehead will do that. Fire ass extracts from Heart's Herbal Extract Labs. A consciousness lit by a truth above. Was felt and saw the light, but not the truth. It caught the idea and built from it a world. It made an image there and called it God. Yet something true and inward harbored there, that beings of that world of greater life, tenants of a larger air of freer space, live not by the body or in outward things. A deeper living was their seat of self. In that intense domain of intimacy, objects dwell as companions of the soul. The body's actions are a mirror, a reminder stripped. The surface rendering of a life within, all forces are life's retinue in a world and thought and body as her handmaids move. The universal wideness give her room, all feel the cosmic movement of their acts, and are the instruments of her cosmic might, or their own self they make their universe. In all who have risen to a greater life, a voice of unborn things whispers to the ear. To their eyes visited by some high sunlit aspiration shows the image of a crown to work out a seed that she has thrown within. To achieve her power in them, her creatures live, each in a greatness growing towards the heights, or from his inner center oceans out, encircling ripples of concentric power, they swallow, glutted their environment, even of that largeness may a cabin make. In narrower breaths and briefer vistas pent, they live content with some small greatness won. To rule the little empire of themselves, to be a figure of their private world, and make the milieu's joy of griefs their own, and satisfy their life motives and life wants, is charge enough and office for this strength, a steward of the person of his fate. This was transition line and starting point, a first immigration into heavenliness for all who cross into that brilliant sphere. These are the kinsmen of our earthly race. This region borders on our mortal state. This wider world our greater movements gives, its strong formations build our growing selves. Its creatures are our brighter replicas, complete the types we only initiate, and are securely what we strive to be. As if thought out eternal characters, entire not pulled as we by contrary tides, they follow the unseen leader in the heart. Their lives obey the inner nature's law. There is kept grandeur's store, the hero's mold. The soul is the watchful builder of its fate. None is a spirit indifferent and inert. They choose their side. They see the God they adore. A battle is joined between the true and false. A pilgrimage sets out to the divine light. Already won. For even ignorance there aspires to know and shines with a luster of a distant star. There is knowledge in the heart of sleep, and nature comes to them as a conscious force. An ideal is their leader and their king, aspiring to the monarchy of the sun. They call in truth for their high government, hold her incarnate in their daily acts, and fill their thoughts with inspired voice, and shape their lives into her breathing form till her sun gold Godhead they too share. Or to the truth of darkness they subscribe, Whether for heaven or hell they must wage war, warriors of good. They serve a shining cause, or evil's soldiers are the pay of sin. For evil and good are equal tenure keep. Wherever knowledge is ignorance's twin, all powers of life towards the Godhead tend. In the wideness and the daring of that air, each builds its temple and expands its cult. In sin, too, there is a divinity, affirming the beauty and splendor of her law. She claims life as her natural domain, assumes the world's throne, or dons the papal robe. Her worshippers proclaim her sacred right. A red-terried falsehood they revere. Worship the shadow of a crooked god. Admit the black idea that twists the brain, or lie with the harlot power that slays the soul. A mastering virtue statuesques the pose, or a titan passion goads to a proud unrest. At wisdom's altar they are kings and priests, or their life a sacrifice to an idol of power, or beauty shines on them like a wandering star, too far to reach, passionate, they follow her light. In art and life they catch the all-beautiful's ray, and make the world their radiant treasure house. Even common figures are a marvel robed. Hope y'all are enjoying this. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you already haven't. A charm and greatness locked in every hour awakes the joy which sleeps in all things made. A mighty victory or a mighty fall. A throne in heaven or a pit in hell. The dual energy they have justified. Healing, love, and light, all one. And marked their souls with her tremendous seal. Whatever fate may do to them, they have earned something they have done, something they have been, they live. Their matter is soul's result and not its cause. In a contrary balance to earth's truth of things, the gross weighs less, the subtle counts for more. On inner values hangs the outer plane, as quivers with the thought and the expressive word, as yearns the act with the passion of the soul. This world's apparent sensible design looks vibrant back to some interior might. A mind not limited by extreme sense gave figures to the spirit's imponderables. The world's impact without channels registered and turned into the body's concrete thrill. A vivid workings of a bodiless force. Powers here subliminal that act unseen or in ambush crouch waiting behind the wall. Came out in front, uncovering their face. The occult grew there overt. The obvious kept a covert turn and